times throughout these games. His macro is second to none. He can do it. He will be up at points. But HerO will not die. You can't kill anything of HerO's. He's everywhere. He is harassing you, and he is not going to die.
Dude, one big thing, though, that Rhett could actually win the series by is that HerO getting nervous. Like, that's actually really important because the reason why we've never seen HerO do anything big so far, and this is like, if he wins this is like, that's his title, right? He hasn't won anything before. And it's always come down to his nerves. I don't know if like being in a big arena like this would actually affect that, especially within the booth looking out into this.
Yeah, he's been showing really, really solid play throughout this tournament, and those nerves don't appear to be a factor at the moment. But that was playing in the players' area. It's a very comfortable area, and the players have been treated extremely well at this tournament, of course. And now he's in a booth on a big stage in front of perhaps the biggest crowd that he's ever seen here. And yeah, it could kick in. And I think this is a great time to have a look at those heartbeat monitors and see exactly what ends up happening there. So maybe they'll just put in for HerO.
Yeah, you know, and I want to emphasize something you just mentioned, which was unique to any esports tournament that's ever occurred. We actually have heartbeat monitors. I know some of you guys know this, but for those of you who don't, we have a heartbeat monitor to each player hooked up to their chest to monitor their heartbeats, and then it'll be on the screen. So this is a new thing. I mean, obviously, some people just have different heartbeats. So don't read too much into it, but still, I mean, if you see a sudden spike and the guy's losing his army, we're going to get to see for the first time, like on a biological level, whether the stress or anxiety or adrenaline is really picking up.
What was that like? You could see that, right, in game one?
It's funny because it started out with, I think each of them fluctuating between 90 and 100. Is that right?
You know, Puma definitely had a lower heartbeat than Night End, and I mean, of course, some of that may or may not be natural. I'm not a doctor of this, at least.
Did it like pick up equal to the game? Like,
yeah, no. When it's actually really interesting when you see someone get attacked or hold something off. The heartbeat does spike up.
Really? Because it's the first thing I've ever seen of that before. So I'm actually really excited to look at some heartbeat, man. Yeah. Do you know what Rhett said to me funnily before? He's like, I'm not sure if I want to show this, man. I'm like unhealthy.
I was saying, I have a cigarette before the game. That does change my heartbeat. So we can't read too much into it, but it is exciting because you will literally see at times their heartbeat increase by 50 beats.
Yeah, I did actually see on the monitor screen when the nuke was coming down, for instance, it was kind of a switch around because the heartbeat suddenly goes up on one end as he's desperately looking for it, and then when it lands, the heartbeat's going up on the other. He's hoping for, of course, that to land and do the damage, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in this, and I want to see HerO's heartbeat, particularly when he's multitasking at such a fast pace and grabbing units incredibly fast. We've seen the Warp Prism play from him. It's not just about drops. It's actually about saving units and about being efficient. He's picking up injured units, dropping them back down when the shields go up, and saving units, often saving sentries, in fact, when he's going in with that. So that'll be interesting to see.
Dude, like the heartbeat is like the new APM. It's like BattleNet 3.0.
That's right. You got to have a certain heartbeat level to get to the amount of skill that you need.
It's coming in the next patch. Yeah.
You got to be careful, though. It's like golf. The low score is better. I don't want anyone out there thinking this is real and downing like 5 monsters.
Got to get
my push it to 300.
Got to get my heartbeat up.
And I think we're ready, guys. So we're going to hand it over to lovely Mr. Bitter and my brother, Day9. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Tasteless. Welcome to Dreamhack winner 2011. And it is time for semifinal number 2 between Liquid Rhett and Liquid HerO. I'm so pumped for this match.
Yes, it is Day9. And can I just say, sitting over there at the couch with you and Nick and Dan, it's like the hardest. My cheeks are going to be sore tomorrow because of how much I was giggling.
Dude, I don't know if you know this. I want to give an extra special tier to the funniest person you'll ever meet. Artosis is the funniest human being known to man. Had me giggling, and in his own words, I was getting all wiggly excited, getting ready for this match.
I was like wiping tears from my eyes every time they kicked it over to us.
Absolutely delightful. And now it's time to watch these two incredible players, Liquid Rhett and Liquid HerO, duke it off, just as they were saying in the pregame introduction. Rhett, the king of macro, the king of drones, against Liquid HerO, the king of harassment and aggression. Any predictions, Mr. Bitter?
Oh, it is so hard to bet against HerO because he is single-handedly changing the Protoss versus Zerg metagame. I think Rhett can do it. I think Rhett can do it. I think he can.
First match is going to be on Antigua Shipyard, ladies and gentlemen. Liquid Rhett and Liquid HerO.
All right, guys. So when we introduce these players, we want them to hear you in the booth. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, the red Zerg, Liquid Ret. Oh, lovely.
And in the top right, his opponent, the #1 ranked Grandmaster in Korea, the king of harassment and the revolutionizer of the Warp Prism. It is Liquid HerO.
Man, I love Swedish fans.
Oh, Swedes are the coolest people in the universe, and all of them are always happy 100% of the time.
Day 9, right off the bat, we see that HerO is doing something noteworthy. He's got the pylon on the low ground. Antigua Shipyard is not the easiest place in the world to Forge Expand, but it looks like he's going to try it.
Yeah, the Forge Expand build obviously going to be very difficult on this map. I mean, even look at the distance from this pylon to all this space behind the natural expansion. Going to be so difficult to defend against any sort of Zergling run by. However, I think it's smart for Ret not to, or excuse me, smart for HerO not to be doing this sort of strategy against Ret, because, you know, Ret really always drones.
Yes.
He really does not like doing any sort of that crazy kookiness we saw, for instance, out of Nerchio. And look at this. He's just blindly going Nexus first.
This is a little bit of metagaming now. I was talking to Rhett a little while ago. He said him and HerO played about 15 practice games a day or two ago. And I guarantee you that those practice games are playing into HerO's decision-making here. He knows that Rhett likes to play a big macro style. And he is so confident in that fact that he is going to just blindly go Nexus and then Forge. And then, after all of that, he's going to scout.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit bold. Even after this expansion plops up, HerO has to be well aware, a cannon to defend his front and defend his Zergling run by from the back. But more importantly, getting these 2 gas geysers up is surprisingly difficult on Antigua Shipyard, even if your opponent builds only 2 to 4 Zerglings.
Yes, yes. You can put on a lot of pressure. There's so much surface area that you have to cover. It's virtually impossible for a single cannon to cover that entire natural. So HerO going to have to be very, very mindful of his placement, that first cannon going down, actually in the front. Now, I don't think this is going to bother Rhett all that much, Day 9. He likes to play macro. So as soon as he realizes what's up, I anticipate he's going to throw down a very, very fast third hatchery and just do what Rhett does best, play that game of drones.
Yeah, I mean, as we go back to, you know, Rhett's base again and again and again, clicking on those queens, we will see their energy so far, so close down to 0. And this is actually some very interesting building placement by Liquid HerO. He's not actually going for a wall off at the front of his base. Ooh, Red is taking some serious damage on that Overlord. He will certainly get away in time. But this first photon cannon, interestingly, not placed with any wall off in mind. That's very bold.
Yes.
Tons of player would exploit that by just instantly building a Roach Warren and trying to go kill the opponent right off the bat. But I think Rhett, like you said, look at that. Third hatch already down at the third base.
Yep. There are so many other Zerg players in the world that would take a different approach to this kind of opening from HerO. Look at just he's being so ballsy with his placement. Even the pylon is exposed. Something like a Baneling bust would be totally game ending right now. But that's just not how Rhett plays, and HerO knows it. Instead, Rhett is, in fact, getting that third base, making a lot of drones. He has already got 1 queen, 2 queens out, so he has got lots and lots of larvae at his disposal, Day 9. So he's going to be able to power that economy in a very big way.
And one of the things that Rhett is actually loving doing these days is getting these gas geysers very, very late. He may even favor getting roaches at this stage instead of getting that very early Zergling speed upgrade, just because if you're getting the Zergling speed so late, it doesn't become useful. So may as well just get the roaches and then follow up with Zergling speed later. You need some kind of early defense in this spot.
A little bit of Chrono Boost being spent on this first Stalker, actually, which is kind of cool. Zealous poking across the center of the map. Stalker is just going to park in the mineral line. Why would you Chrono Boost it if you're just going to do that? Extra Chrono Boost being spent on the Warp Gate, and we do see a Stargate down in HerO's base.
And there's that third assimilator going down right now. That's generally it. Whoa, double Stargate Phoenix. Looks like that's going to be the transition coming out of Liquid HerO. Loving that harassment-focused play. Hopefully he'll transition again into that Warp Prism, which, as we know, he will love to do in almost all spots.
Yeah, Rhett did try to sacrifice an Overlord there as this Zealot pops into the back of his third base, trying to get a drone, and will get a drone. It's a small victory there for HerO. Rhett is going to sacrifice. Is this the first Overlord or the second? I think it's the second Overlord that Rhett has sacked, and he really has not seen anything. Has no idea that this double Stargate is coming.
In fact, if we look, there's actually this triangle of darkness that Red hasn't spotted, and that's where everything that's important is being built. HerO actually going for a Void Ray. He's going to go double Stargate Void Ray.
Whoa.
Whoa. That is one of those. This guy is either tip-top Grandmaster or Gold League. He either saw the Void Ray and said, oh man, that unit's sweet, I'm going to build like only that.
I have played many a free-for-all game that ends to like 72 Void Rays.
Uh-oh. Is he going to see the second Stargate? Oh, Mr. Bitter, this could be huge if he spotted the second one.
No.
Well, we don't know yet.
Sure. No.
He doesn't know.
Only sees one.
Looks like Liquid HerO just kind of showing off this fancy, fast new stalker he has. He can run right in the base, cuddle your units, and get home safely.
Indeed. There is an Evo chamber building for Rhett. He threw that down reactively to the Void Ray. Not adding any extra queens, though, so he's going to be using just 3 queens and a few spores. A lot of drones. 10 drones at once being built by Rhett. That's going to allow him to pop up to about 70 workers before even 9 minutes in the game.
Liquid Red building 2 spore crawlers. They do take a pretty long time to build, especially when there are Void Rays right next to your base. We see 3 Void Rays. Phoenix is being rallied at that natural expansion. All geysers are up and running. And HerO may have waited a little bit too long for the engagement, or he'll just charge him on these destructible debris and begin stepping forward.
Well, you know, Red's got great positioning on these spores. I think 2 spores and a queen are going to be tough to handle. The Phoenix is going to add a lot of depth to this harass, though. Second queen going to pop out right in the nick of time, and here we go.
Uh-oh. Target firing on the first spore crawler. The queen has been lifted, and it looks like HerO's pulling back. Safely saves that back Void Ray. 1 queen is down.
Oh, Red, you're going to lose the queen. That's not good. Now it's only a single spore crawler against 2 charged Void Rays and a Phoenix. Red in a little bit of trouble here.
That said, look at this. A 3rd base from HerO. Very bold, expanding in the midst of all of this. The Spore Crawler tries to rearrange and burrow forward. It only manages to get a few gobs out before getting picked off.
Rhett.
Spore Crawler also falls again. Rhett canceling at the last second. Excellent timing there by the Dutch player. However, Rhett is in a lot of trouble. He does have a ton of Hydralisks moving out now, though.
The Hydras are going to come out and try to save this base. The Phoenixes will be able to lift, though, and the Hydras are not going to do well under this Phoenix. Oh, Rhett in a world of trouble, Day 9.
But it looks like Rhett's macro will be able to see him through, and it looks like Rhett successfully deflects the airplay.
2 Void Rays remain. One of them in the red, the other one full health, no shields, and count this, 6 Phoenixes. That is a lot of Phoenix.
Oh, Liquid HerO is not done yet. The Hydralisk count is dangerously high, though, and Hydra's on creep. Oh! He's fine.
My sentiments exactly, crowd. Oh. So Hydras are out.
You do see that there's that big gateway transition Twilight Council popping up for HerO. He has complete map domination. Now the Phoenix is realizing, well, if the Hydralisks will prevent a direct assault, they still can't be everywhere at once. Time to pick off all these outlying overlords. It's almost the curse of being a player as good as Rhett. You spread those overlords out brilliantly, and then the Phoenixes punish that very easily.
Yeah. Losing a queen, these Void Rays are going to come in and try to even deny some of the upgrades. Hydra is coming back frantically. Rhett is taking a 4th base up at the left middle part of the map. There's a pylon being warped in there.
And it looks like Carapace upgrade has fallen. Liquid HerO loses 1 Void Ray.
Second one again survives. Couple of HerO Void Rays, Day 9.
That is like a parkour Void Ray. He dodges spikes by inches every single time.
And that parkour Void Ray is going to come over here to this building hatchery. Rhett might be forced to cancel this as he's having to deal with all these Phoenixes at the front. Hydras are going to catch these Phoenixes out in the open. Not going to kill any, but doing quite a bit of damage. Spire going down for Rhett. Interesting transition choice.
That is actually a very shocking transition, having spent so much gas on the Hydralisks. Now it looks like Liquid Rhett, oh wow, is actually going to try to save this expansion. Is he really going to let that finish?
It's
Rhett
going
thinks
to
he
be
can get there in time.
And the Void Ray is going to turn around and get out of there. So Rhett with a successful preservation of this hatchery.
And I can't believe it. Liquid HerO, who seems to be playing at 100 miles an hour, already has a 3rd base, tons of gateways, has the Twilight Council getting blinked, but Rhett, already halfway done with his hive, has a 4th base up.
Look at the resources for Rhett right now, Day 9. Over 2,000 minerals, over 1,000 gas. What is he saving for?
This is going to be a very, very interesting moment in gameplay. Rhett, as Artosis pointed out at the start of this game, he is going to be way ahead in terms of food. We see his 151 to 126. His army supply, his drone supply in particular, is what is so high at this point in time. But just as you say, what on earth is Rhett saving up for? His hive is almost done, and he is at a very high amount.
Void Ray falls in the middle there.
Looks like the Void Ray has finally fallen. It is just Phoenixes on the map.
Yeah, Hive is finishing up, some roaches popping out as well. Bit of an engagement here in the center. Speedling Hydra is pretty good against gateway stuff. Phoenix is going to come in and try to do some lifting. There's just so many Hydras though, Day9.
Oh my god, the Phoenixes will prevent any kind of retreat. He lifts and eliminates all of those Hydras at the back. Liquid Rhett's Hydra army has evaporated at the same time though. What has Rhett been saving for? He has so much money. He has the flexibility to build up whatever composition he needs, but it looks like he was planning on saving up for that hive. Thank God he's getting the adrenal gland. That thing is never researched. That is the most dusty, cobweb-covered upgrade in the entire game, and it is finally coming into play here.
All that saved money going to go to 16 Hydras. Rhett maybe panicking a little bit, realizing they lost a lot of units in the middle of the map, and the Roach is going to get caught here by the Phoenixes, the Stalkers, and the Sentries, and Rhett is going to lose a lot of units to this attack.
But it looks like Rhett has some kind of super Roach upgrade as they are doing massive amounts of damage. Hydra is starting to swing in. HerO probably thinks he has a massive advantage, but be warned, there are 16 Hydralisks about to barrel their way into this attack, and the Phoenixes are doing a good amount of damage. They're awfully low on energy, and Liquid Rhett's macro sees him through to the defense.
Big Stalker warp in there for HerO. 16 Stalkers on the map right here. Blink is done. That means no retreat for these Hydras. They do hit the creep, and that means Nitrous packs kicking in.
And there's Liquid Rhett. Looks like the only Hive Tech upgrade he has researched now is that Adrenal Gland upgrade for the Zerglings. Rhett having a lot of aggression with Hydralisk. Very uncommon to see that back home. HerO is getting Zealot Leg Speed, has an Observer out, but we don't see any of that trademark War Prism play quite yet.
Oh, another big blink up onto those Hydras. HerO realizing that he has a few too many units for Rhett to safely engage. Oh, man, a lot of skirmishing happening. Look at HerO just expanding right here in the middle of the map, right in Rhett's face.
That is an extremely confident expand. Looks like Liquid Rhett, though, is continuing to rally Zerglings. They do have that very important Adrenal Gland upgrade, which means they deal damage very quickly. Rhett
the Blink Micro. The Blink Micro just a little bit too good. Hydra is having a hard time trading effectively with these Stalkers. 15 more Hydras about to pop out. A single Mutalisk being built. For what purpose, I do not know.
Well, he's going to be going Hydra Corruptor, 1 Mutalisk. Very potent combo. And HerO, who's generally known for that all-over-the-place harassment style, has been favoring a little bit more of direct army engagements. We now see that there is the Colossus tech, the Robotics Bay incoming. Interestingly, only level 3 attack up this late into the game. HerO's been spending almost all of his money on all those various tech paths. On the other hand, Liquid Rhett is also quite low on upgrades himself.
Yeah, and Rhett's money is what I'm really noticing right now. He is so broke, Day9. Losing that 4th base was a big blow. Phoenixes do find these Overlords in the back of his 3rd. Rhett going to try to expand down here to the bottom right-hand main, but a few Zealots look like they might scout it.
And now Rhett is moving forward again with a fairly intimidating Roach Hydra force, very heavy on the Hydra side. That is the damage-dealing portion of that army. There's a lot of units here from Liquid HerO. Rhett also taking the center expansion. I think Rhett's realizing he doesn't quite have time to get up those Brood Lords. He does have the Greater Spire finished in the back of his main.
Phoenixes do finally die. That hatchery in the bottom right was forced to cancel. Right now, HerO looks like he's going to be pretty content to just hold the center of the map with this big Stalker army. Roach Hydra can probably engage this, Sean.
But it looks like Liquid Rhett wants to force HerO to come to him. He's just planting himself, picking off all these probes, basically locking down HerO to 3 bases. Here comes HerO trying to do the engagement. Oh no, a probe transfer. Not what you want to be doing in this position, but Liquid HerO is confident that he can secure this expansion.
Colossus count right now, only a single Colossus out on the map. Red at about 190 supply, HerO at about 180. This many Blink Stalkers is so tough to deal with when the Colossi start joining the fray.
And here comes an engagement. It looks like Liquid HerO has decided that now is the time to strike. The Colossus at the front immediately falls down.
Oh, nice focus firing by Red.
With kind of a shocking miss micro, now it looks like the Hydras are piling on the opposite side of all of those force fields, and it looks like Liquid HerO retreats, and I think Rhett's going to be happy about that, as there are a lot of Brood Lords starting to rally up in mid.
Oh, yes, sir. 5 Brood Lords morphing, a couple more Corruptors are out. HerO unable to really mine from this 4th base as long as Red is parked in the center. The Brood Lords are going to give him so much more in terms of the ability to engage HerO's army. HerO going to poke forward just a little bit, trying to pick a fight, but Red not quite biting.
Liquid HerO has yet another Colossus, so good against those Broodlings. Another nice Slice from the force fields, but it means that the Broodlords do have a little bit of protection. They're getting a little bit far forward, but Rhett too good to fall for that trap, pulling everything back very nicely. 3 more Broodlords in production, but no! The blink forward is going to do a lot of damage. Hydra Broodlord, one of the most damage-dealing compositions in the entire game. That front line of Stalkers takes ridiculous hurt, and 40 more Lings, 2 more Broodlords on the way, and still HerO cannot hold this expansion.
Absolutely. Love how Rhett is controlling this army, just parking the Hydralisk underneath the Broodlords, daring HerO to blink into it. Broodlord's doing a great job denying mining from this center expansion. HerO's army still at about 170 supply.
Looks like HerO's deciding it's time to engage. He blinks, but oh no, a little bit of a misblink. A lot of those Stalkers are trapped on the awkward angle. It looks like he has been cut down to just 3 Broodlords. The Colossus doing a huge amount of damage. Another blink under, and it looks like Liquid Rhett is slowly losing the entire bulk of his army. That Broodlord force has finally been decimated by Liquid HerO.
All the Broodlords do fall. Both players taking some pretty heavy losses there. 120 supply for each of them. Rhett with a bunch of roaches and some infestors popping out. There's another odd transition.
Oh, Liquid Rhett nearly broke the center. His only real hope for mining anymore. Roach Infestor is his choice. He's hoping to overrun this force with mass numbers, but right now Liquid HerO has too versatile a composition. He's going to pick it off. HerO retreats in the midst of all that aggression. HerO established himself a 5th base in the top left.
Excellent play here from Liquid HerO. Rhett virtually mined out at all of his bases. He's going to try to force a fight here in the center of the map. A fungal goes down all over the Colossi and the Stalkers, but I do think HerO just has a few too many units, Day 9.
It looks like Liquid Rhett, the king of macro, with his game of drones, is unable to macro. HerO out of the game. HerO now stepping forward, controlling the center. Where can Rhett expand to? Rhett is nearly broke.
Yes, indeed. And he is just actually going to tap it out. GG, game number 1 going to HerO pretty convincingly, I have to say.
Very solid performance by Liquid Rhett and Liquid HerO, but HerO just seems to have an innate understanding of how to play that matchup out, delaying that robotics facility for so long.